Well, good morning, fellow expeditionists. It is about 4 a.m. on a Saturday morning, and if I'm out here packing up the car that early, you know what that means. It's time for another road trip.
That's right, we're hitting the road again. And this time, our plans are extremely fluid and will depend greatly on the weather as we travel south into Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, and even Virginia. Come along and see both the failures and successes of our 2022 spring break road trip.
Hey, fellow expeditionists, we are on the road. What's happening this week, Catfish?
Spring break 2022.
That's right, it is spring break time again. It's been a great week leading up to this week, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We've had some nice spring weather already, and of course Catfish has had some really good things happening this week. His school had their academic awards banquet. She got recognized as one of their top students, of course. And then also, what did you receive in the mail?
A Purdue acceptance letter.
That's right, Purdue University. Catfish is going to be a Boilermaker. So it's been a great week. Now our spring break is going to be limited a little bit, isn't it? It's going to be 3.5 days is all we really have to get outside and do some adventuring. We're in Kentucky, heading south. Not going to go as far south as we would like to, but we're still hitting up some new to us places.
This trip was probably our most difficult to plan for. Originally, we considered everything from returning to the national forests of Florida to backpacking North Carolina's Linville Gorge. But we have to cut back on our plans, as Catfish must return early. His high school FTC robotics team is hosting a big competition later in the week, so he needs to be back in time to practice with his team and set up for the event. This means we only have 3 solid days for a quick road trip, and the weather forecast isn't doing us any favors, with rain and cold air moving through the region. But we're going to make the most of it with our first stop in South Central Kentucky, at a feature we have never visited before within the Daniel Boone National Forest.
Hey, fellow expeditionists. We're in the Daniel Boone National Forest of Kentucky.
We're at the Natural Arch Scenic area.
Natural Arch Scenic Area is a day-use area within the Daniel Boone National Forest near Parkers Lake, Kentucky. The scenic area covers 945 acres, with over 10 miles of rock bluffs to explore, and at its center is the Natural Arch itself. Measuring 100 feet across and 50 feet high, it is one of Kentucky's largest natural landmarks.
So this natural arch, the main view that we've been showing you from the front side is big, but I feel like the view from the back side makes it feel even bigger because of this enormous rock shelter that is only visible from the back side. So the back side is the actual rock shelter. That front side we came through was just a sheer cliff. There you go, fellow expeditionists. That's our quick adventure here at Natural Arch Scenic Area in the Daniel Boone National Forest.
Natural Arch was everything we could hope it to be, and someday in the future we'll visit again when everything is greened up to hike the longer trails. Now it was time to drive a bit further south into Tennessee to our main destination for our 3-day trip, Big South Fork National River and Recreation Area.
Well, folks, we have made it into Tennessee to the Big South Fork National Scenic Area. National Recreation Area. Something to that effect. And we are in the very south tip of it in the Honey Creek area. And man, the forest road driving out there is quite the adventure by itself, isn't it, Catfish?
It is.
Yeah, you're on top of a ridge on an old gravel forest road. It just really makes you feel like you're in the backcountry without even stepping out of your car yet.
We've backpacked in Big South Fork a few times in the past. It's a lot like Kentucky's Red River Gorge, but much bigger and less crowded. For this trip, our intention was to backpack the Honey Creek Loop, a section we have never visited but long wanted to. It's not a terribly long trail, but big on scenery. It also involves a lot of creeking, meaning lots of water crossings and even hiking within the creek itself. That's the part that we really didn't take into consideration with the current weather conditions. After arriving at the trailhead, we got out of the car, and honestly, we lost our enthusiasm when the chilly air hit us. It was still in the low 40s, overcast skies with a threat of rain, and the night temps would be dipping into the 20s. Not exactly ideal conditions when your hike involves being in water. The Honey Creek Loop is something we both wanted to properly enjoy, so we decided to save it for another time. That left us in a conundrum. Here we were in Tennessee with no plans whatsoever.
Well, fellow expeditionists, you know how we always say that our plans on these road trips are always fluid and can change at any moment? Well, that's exactly what's happening this time. The weather today has just not been very cooperative.
No, it hasn't.
It's in the mid 40s, very windy, chance of rain off and on, and it's just kind of killed our enthusiasm for getting out and hiking and backpacking, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had intended to go into Big South Fork, to one of the places we'd never hiked before but always wanted to. But we knew that it would involve a lot of creek crossings and such too, and just not the experience we would want in the mid 40s with wind and potential for rain.
Exactly.
So we are heading even further south.
Yep.
We're already in Tennessee. We're just going to keep right on going and just see where the day takes us in the mountains, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right. Going south.
We headed out of Big South Fork, found a signal, and looked up the weather to see what would be a little more hospitable. Well, lo and behold, the weather system that had been hanging over us all day had a southern edge just an hour's drive south of us. Look ahead. Do you see that? Blue skies. And we set a course directly for them.
All right, folks. Well, we did it. We are in the Smoky Mountains, skirting around Gatlinburg right at this very moment, completely unplanned. Not even sure what we're doing. No reservations, which we're used to that part, huh?
Yeah.
But you know what? It is sunny here and 64 degrees. Literally 2 hours ago, we were up in Big South Fork where it was 44, 45 degrees. Very windy, very cloudy, very rainy. So, yeah, I'm kind of glad we did it.
With no plans and too late in the day to consider any serious hikes, we cruised the scenic Newfound Gap Road across the Smokies, taking in the sights and just enjoying the weather, as this was literally the last day of winter.
All right, well, our impromptu trip here to the Smoky Mountains, I don't know, I think I'm pretty happy about it so far. How about you?
Me too.
Yeah. Now here's something interesting that I didn't even realize until now. We have been to the Smoky Mountains probably the most of any national parks we've ever visited, but it's always been in the summer or fall. This is the first time I've gotten to look at these mountains where there's no growth. And it's a whole different experience because you can actually see a lot of the exposed rock, which, you know, normally you don't see because of all the leaves and greenery, huh?
For sure.
Yeah, so it's kind of interesting to see it this way. I'm excited to actually get out and hike it a little bit now. We're going to do one of their quiet walkways here right now, just to get our Smoky Mountain energy running here, huh?
Yep.
All right.
After some thought, we realized we have been to the Smokies twice in the past, around Christmas time. Once in 2011 and again in 2018. But we were unable to drive across the Smokies at that time due to snow in the higher elevations. Seeing the exposed rocky peaks of the Smokies during the off-season is a very different feel than the rainforest it becomes in the summer.
Hey, Catfish, what kind of rock is that?
It looks kind of a lot like quartz.
Sure does. That's not your little piece that you're going to try to polish. That's a big piece of quartz. What you got there, Catfish?
Some cool looking flower.
Oh yeah? Cool looking flower. Kind of early in the year for that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh. Cool thing about this little nature walk here we're doing is it is actually old growth forest, which is kind of unheard of because the Smokies got logged long before it became a national park. But realistically only about 80% got logged, so 20% did not. And this is one of those areas that is truly old growth. Hey, Catfish, I just found this stuck to the bumper of our car.
Whoa.
I have to wonder, is that fur from Bigfoot?
Do.
It was starting to get late, and our hopes of watching the sunset from Clingman's Dome were dashed due to Clingman's Dome Road being under construction. So we headed into Cherokee, North Carolina to pick up some dinner and then decide where we were going to spend the night.
Well, we did it. We are in the Nantahala National Forest, right by the Little Tennessee River again, boondocking for the night. This is the same area that we boondocked in last summer, last time we were here in the Smokies region. And we liked it so much, we decided to return to it, huh, Catfish?
Yes, we did.
Yep. So it's a nice, beautiful sight, and get to sleep to the sounds of the river. Well, good morning, fellow expeditionists. I tell you what, sleeping here by the river last night, I slept like a baby. How about you, Catfish?
Me too.
Yeah, it was a great sleep. Listening to the sound of that river all night just puts me right to sleep. It's kind of like having a fan running at night, huh?
Yeah.
Yep. All right, but we are up very early. It's 6:30 a.m. Some people would consider that particularly early, but with daylight savings time, it's still extremely early. And we just want to beat the crowds. We know there's a lot of people here in the Smokies for spring break and such, so we're wanting to get to our trailheads that we want to go to before they all do.
While we did get up fairly early, what I failed to account for is that the trail we decided to hike on this day was back on the other side of the Smokies, and the drive from our boondocking site in the Nantahala National Forest over to the Greenbrier area would take us nearly 2 hours. But that just gave us a chance to enjoy the scenery and the wildlife again. Sometimes I forget to slow down a bit to just enjoy the journey. One of my favorite things about the Smokies are the old mountain roads, and the road into the Greenbrier area is one of the best. Very rugged, sometimes one lane, right up against the Little Tennessee River. It's an adventure just getting to the trailhead.
Morning, fellow expeditionists.
We're in the Great Smoky Mountains.
Today, we're hiking the Ramsey Cascades Trail.
The Ramsey Cascades Trail is an 8-mile out-and-back hike with 2,200 feet of elevation gain, leading to the tallest waterfall within the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. This is a hike I've been wanting to do since the very first time I ever brought catfish to the Smokies in 2010. But it was just a little too strenuous for his 6-year-old legs back then. This is also the first day of spring. What a great way to welcome our favorite season, out on the trail, in the mountains. It just doesn't get any better.
Closely control children for depths here from falls.
Please don't be next, catfish. Oh, we made it, catfish.
We made it.
It's a lot more of a more strenuous hike than I expected. What about you?
Yeah, me too.
It's kind of a 4-mile hike and climb there, but totally worth it.
Yeah,
Really cool waterfall, huh?
it is.
Took me a lot of years to finally get out here, but wow. Awesome hike. Whew, well, we did it. And you know, the trail maps here at Smoky Mountains says it's about an 8-mile hike. My step counter says it's more like 9.5. So I sometimes wonder if your maps and such account for that elevation gain, you know?
Yeah.
But my legs are feeling it. We realized this is the longest and probably most strenuous hike we've done in 5 months since when we were in the Adirondacks in New York. So yeah, a little bit out of shape, a little bit of a strenuous hike. Makes me a little bit tired, huh?
Me too.
Well, folks, that hike there at Ramsey Cascades, it was everything I hoped for. Really enjoyed it. It's been on my list for many years to go there and actually do that hike, so glad we got to do that. Now we're just kind of recuperating because I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit wore out. I'm not quite in the shape I should be for those kind of hikes.
Yeah.
But make the best of it. So anyway, we're now on the road out cruising, just cruising around. Not really sure what we're doing, frankly. Not even sure where we're staying tonight or what we're doing tomorrow. Just kind of winging it, aren't we, buddy?
Yeah.
All right, so we went through Pigeon Forge, grabbed something to eat, and just sit there and fretted about what to do next, killing time and all. And we decided to actually head out a little bit. We're now northwest of the Smokies area at the Seven Islands State Birding Park. Just checking it out real quick. It's late evening, so I don't know how much time we have, but might as well, right?
Yeah.
So up by their bluebird barn, they had a lot of feeders and such, attracting quite a lot of birds, but it's pretty much the same things that we can attract at our own feeders at home.
Pretty much.
But we're doing their little trail, and they don't really mark them in mileage, they mark them in time, how long it takes you to hike these trails. So you got a 1 hour trail, 2 hour trail, and that kind of stuff. So right now we're just heading out on the 1 hour trail because it's almost 6 o'clock already. But I don't know, it's just a good little walk. The trail so far is all paved, nice and easy. We'll see what we see.
Yep.
Well, we figured out we're going to whip out this 1 hour trail in like 20 minutes. So we're just heading out and seeing what we can see, huh, buddy?
Yep.
Let's check out the river.
See Walmart.
Do you? Where?
It's flying down right now. I just see moving
Oh,
on top of
okay,
the
I
water.
see.
It wasn't a man ago, but
We're on one of the 7 islands. It's in the middle of the French Broad River. There's not a whole lot of birds right now to see, but it's still a really cool place to explore.
that's cool.
It's really cool finding the rookery up there, as well as the cormorants up there on the trees. Unfortunately, with us waiting till evening, the sun is in the wrong place. Creates a major glare trying to get any pics and video. Oh well, it's still a cool experience.
Yeah.
This forest almost has a creepy feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little bit creepy. Kind of looks like an area that Sasquatch would be in.
Maybe.
Well, we got the sunset here, Catfish.
We did.
So this Seven Islands State Birding Park was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it was.
Just a nice little thing to check out, and it was worth it, I definitely feel. But we've had a full day, obviously, here in the Smoky Mountains. We've decided that we really don't want to travel all the way back to the Untitled National Forest to boondock. It's a long drive from this side. And so we're just going to find us somewhere to park for the night. get us a little bit of sleep, and I think we're heading north again tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right, see where the road takes us. Good night, all. Good morning, fellow expeditionists. This is day 3 on our shortened spring break trip.
Yep.
We headed out of the Smokies this morning, and we are heading north to the north borderline, actually, of Tennessee and Kentucky. Going to another national park area to explore that we've never been to before. Hey, fellow expeditionists.
We're at Cumberland Gap National Historic Park.
Cumberland Gap National Historic Park has been one of those places I've always meant to visit, but somehow always ends up overlooked. Every time we've road tripped to Big South Fork, the Smokies, Chattanooga, even Florida, we pass it by heading down Interstate 75. With this trip kind of going off the rails on day 1, it just seemed like the perfect opportunity to take a few hours to finally check it out. And of course, what better introduction to the park than the Cumberland Gap itself and all the history that poured through here, from the Native American hunting grounds to Daniel Boone forging a path for thousands of pioneers, and even Civil War soldiers marching to war.
All right, we have reached the saddle of the actual Cumberland Gap. This is its high point of the actual gap. This gap is known salt-seeking buffalo, moccasin-clad warriors, dreaming pioneers, battling Civil War soldiers. Each was here in the historic Cumberland Gap, and now, so are we. Now, we're not going to continue going down the other side of the gap. We made it to the gap itself, and that is good enough. Right now we are going to take the Tri-State Peak. Go up here on top of this little peak.
Tri-State Peak is exactly what it sounds like. It's the corner where 3 states meet: Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia. Obviously, we couldn't miss an opportunity to have a little fun standing in all 3 states at once.
Hey, Catfish! What state are you in right now?
Kentucky.
Whoa. Whoa, where you at now?
Tennessee.
Oh, wow, you're a traveler. Now what?
Virginia.
Whoa, that is cool. I bet if you laid down right there, you could be in all 3 states at once.
Crazy.
All right, that tri-state area there, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just being in that very corner where states meet, huh?
Yep.
Our next destination, be up on Pinnacle Overlook. All right, Catfish, we're to the trail to the Pinnacle Overlook. It's 1.2 miles and probably over 1,000-foot elevation gain. You know what? I bet we can just jump up there.
Yep.
Let's do it. We made it! Woo, high five! Yeah! All right. Alright, Cumberland Gap National Historic Park was a lot cooler than I actually expected it to be.
Agreed.
Yeah, and there's so much history there, and there's a lot more hiking to be done than what we did. We just barely scratched the surface in our short adventures there. So definitely a place worthy of coming back sometime. And as beautiful as the hills and all of the Cumberland Mountains are, I can only imagine how much more beautiful they are when everything's greened up. Right now, this is the second day of spring. Everything's still dead and not quite there yet, you know. So
Yeah.
definitely look forward to coming back someday. So we're continuing north right now through these Cumberland Mountains. I think we might make a quick stop at Pine Mountain State Park. Hey fellow expeditionists, we're in Kentucky right now.
We're at Chain Rock State Park.
Y'all heard me earlier in the car call it Pine Mountain State Park, right? Yeah, somewhere along the line, we switched to calling it Chained Rock State Park, which is very much incorrect. Chained Rock is a feature within Pine Mountain State Park, located above the town of Pineville, Kentucky.
All right, so we are at the bottom of Chained Rock. You can see the chain right there. All right, catfish. I'm going to explore out this way first. Hey, look at that view.
There's a huge backstory to Chained Rock that goes back to 1933, when a group of men formed the Chained Rock Club. And even though the rock doesn't actually pose a threat to the town below, they added the chain just for the peace of mind of the town's children, who were worried that the rock would come tumbling down on their town.
Check this view out.
Yeah.
Pineville, Kentucky, right below us. Here is one anchor of the chain. Yeah, look at that chain. That thing is huge. My hand is little on that thing, man. I guess if you're going to hold rocks from rolling down on the city, you gotta have some big chain. All right, Chained Rock has been on my list to see for a very long time. We just never seem to make it to this particular area of Kentucky. And today we just managed to be passing through this way. Finally, check this one off. Pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Catfish and I, we're not sure if it's worth going to the top of this one. But you know what? I'm already here. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna tread up to the chain. Looks like there's plenty of traction. It's interesting formation here. I have reached the chain, obviously. There you go. Wow. What a view. Gorgeous park, great views, cool features. Yeah. All right, well that pretty much does it for our short little adventure here at Chained Rock State Park on Pine Mountain here in southern Kentucky. Really cool area. Lots more here to explore, but we just don't quite have enough time right now. All right, so we just left Chained Rock State Park. Really cool place. We actually came down into Pineville below the rock, trying to see if we could find a place where we could see it from below. And well, driving around on the roads, we could spot it. We just could not find a place to park that we could actually get a decent picture of it. So we're moving along now, aren't we?
Yep.
All right.
That's pretty much the end of our quick 3-day spring break trip, as frankly, we were pretty tired from trying to fit in so much within such a short period of time. We made it home and even had a day to rest before Catfish had to get to work with his robotics club. He had a long weekend of competition with Team 1646 Precision Guessworks from Lafayette Jeff High School. So if you enjoyed this travel vlog of our road trip, we do have more detailed videos of each individual adventure on our YouTube channel. We'd greatly appreciate it if you could give a like and subscribe if you enjoy our outdoor adventures. Until next time, peace out.